Does the explosion of AI and all these data centers going on around the world, what does this really mean for the collective? What are they really being used for? Now, I've just finished the collective energy reading, and it was all over the collective energy, asking us to open our eyes to what's going on, and not unwittingly agree to things that we're being forced into unwillingly. So I think there's a little bit more to what's happening with these data centers, with the explosion of AI. We're at this turning point right now where we're moving into a future that is unknown, a future that is unlike anything we've ever seen before. And I just want to know, what are they really doing? What's really coming for humanity when it comes to these data centers? Now, I'm using some unusual cards today that I normally use on my cosmic channel, which is my woo-woo channel. So I'm going to try and not make this reading too woo-woo, because this is my mainstream channel. But I do feel there's an absolute soul connection to what's going on with the AI and the data centers. There's definitely a global connection. There's definitely a Earth responding environmental impact of data centers. But I also want to know, what is the reason they're moving forward with this, leveling up into the next level? Why? What's really going on here? What does it mean for us individually? What does it mean for our energy? What does it mean for our earth? And what does it mean for our soul level? So let's get into this reading. So this was a request from a viewer to take a look at what the data centers are actually being used for, and what it means for us moving forward. So, and given the last couple of weeks, especially this week with the collective energy, I think, I really want to take a look and see what this really means. So I'm just going to be very open to whatever comes through now with this reading. I'm going to pull another spread which will just say, what is it going to be used for? But leaning into this energy here, the first things that I'm noticing is the climate reckoning, earth responding, global impacts. So these are both earth cards. So the earth will be impacted. It will definitely be the resources required to power these data centers. I see a sun card on the table as well, but we're seeing the impacts from that. Now, interesting, because the sun energy here, now this is reminding me, the sun card is sitting there. This card here is solar energy, of talks of putting a data center somewhere. And I'm thinking this is Elon Musk. I think I heard it talking about putting a data center somewhere where it would be and powered from the sun. So that's why the sun card made me think of that. Now I wonder if it impacts the sun as well. Now, if I don't know. I don't know if it will, but I'm seeing here sky agents with the sun, powered by the sun or using solar energy in some way. So that's really interesting that card has came out. But I'm feeling also definitely, as we talked about, there's definitely implications for the earth, for the earth responding. Now, does that mean more earthquakes? Every time I think about the data centers, I think about one of those movies, like futuristic movies. I think Matt Damon might have been in it. They had something about trying to get to med beds. which could be a possibility for the future, but also they were using a lot of, or another alien civilization or something, I can't quite remember what the movie was, and they were using, it could have been a Tom Cruise movie, there's two of them I'm thinking of, using water from the ocean, and they drained the oceans to survive whatever this was, or to use for their power sources. And every time I think about data centers going up, we know they take a lot of water. So how does the earth respond to that? I don't think it will respond to that very well. And that's what I keep picturing. Like, there's all of these data centers going up everywhere. Here in Australia, we have water shortages, and so do other countries. So how is the environment going to cope with the high power needs of these data centers? And why is it that it's so important they're bringing it through, given those restraints or restrictions I'm hearing? Because if data centers are taking up all this water, then that's going to cause restrictions for the people, because the power these data centers is going to be considered priority here. So we've got sky agents, which is drone intelligence. So it will mean the evolution of drone technology that we're going to be seeing everywhere. They're going to be powered by, or pushed forward, into evolution because of the data centers and the AI technology. We're seeing the outdated dismantling of outdated, obsolete systems. So the whole system of everything is going to be changing over into this new system driven by AI and data systems. So this is Pluto in here as well. So this is very much a tower moment. It's about change and transformation. Pluto represents change and transformation. Pluto is currently sitting in Aquarius, where it will be for 20 years, which means it's going to bring great changes and transformations for humanity moving forward. Now, Aquarius is all about future thinking, forward thinking. It's about technologies and new ideas and innovation. So definitely Pluto in Aquarius is represented by big changes in the AI industry, tech industry. And I'm seeing this as old systems become outdated, and we're moving into these new systems, but they're so important that we're moving into these systems that they kind of aren't really caring too much about how the earth is responding to the overuse of resources that's going to be needed. So the big global effects it will affect many around the world. It will affect Earth itself. Earth will respond. That means more natural disasters because of how the Earth is being treated, the using of the resources to power these data centers. So these are things that we can kind of just are very straightforward that we can see are going to be happening, but they're coming out in the cards that this is definitely happening. So we're seeing also drone intelligence. We're moving forward with all kinds of new innovations and technology moving forward because of them. How does this affect humanity, people? It's going to be causing burnout, recovery, this is voltage detox, which means it could be affecting people, mood swings, headaches, depression, EMFs all over the place. So we're moving into an upscale next level with the kind of things we're being zapped with. So that is just, and I did read an interesting comment on my last when I spoke about data centers. It's actually quite frightening what could be coming, but polarity field, unity of opposites. So trying to balance the good with the bad. So we're looking at great innovation, new technology, but at what cost? The cost to human life is what I'm hearing, but also the cost to the planet and the way the planet's being used. Ascended version, which is mastery, is talking about moving next level into mastering different fields getting you innovation, so really at the top of their game because of the technology. But it's interesting because I wonder if the sun will respond in some way. The sun responds to this in some way. I don't know how, but I know that the sun affects us on a human level, because when we get it affects the Schumann resonance, which is the heartbeat of the earth, and then we're also affected and tapped into that energy as well. And that usually when there's a solar flare, the Schumann resonance goes off the chart, and then we have earthquakes and we have volcanoes and all those kind of things. So this is all over here. Now we have carbon, physical matter, building blocks, and cause and effect sitting on top of karmic effects on top of carbon. Now AI is synthetic. Human life is carbon. So we're looking at the building blocks using carbon matter has an effect on us, because our building blocks are carbon based. So it's going to affect us with the priority on AI, priority on change moving forward. I think this is going to be a topic that we won't be able to talk about eventually on YouTube. In the reading that I done on the collective, it says that there's perception deception, which means there's things going on in the background that we're not being told or informed about. And really right now we're at this precipice of change. This turning point is what we are. That's what the card said. We're at this turning point where we really have to have our eyes open to what's going on in the world, and really have to find a way to strengthen our connection to source, connection to the source field, connection to God, connection to our higher selves or our soul. Because I think, and I don't want to go too woo-woo, but I think that it's really important to have our eyes open to what's going on. And I think the more this technology comes in, the more the blinders are going to be able to be pulled over our eyes as to what's going on in the world, what this all means. So let's ask the cards, what does it mean? What's coming out of it? Let's see what the cards have to say here. Now, this is a new deck I'm still getting used to, but amazing what they are saying here. Harnessing energy, source of fuel. So it's going to take a lot of fuel. I also think that there's things going on. Now it's sitting on top of hidden dynamics. Now I don't want to be too woo-woo. I've asked for things that we don't know what this technology, we all know that it's going to bring technology. It's going to bring amazing breakthroughs in all fields, all types. We're moving into a whole new era of breakthroughs in all fields, education, communications, medical field. And that's exciting news, but there's other stuff happening here as well. There's things that we're not being told about. We're seeing an unseen connection or a hidden dynamic here. Sitting on top of that is harnessing energy, source of fuel. Okay, here I'm getting a connection with biofield, human biofield. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's a source of fuel, or I don't know if it affects the human biofield, so the human aura, the human energy levels, the energetic body of the collective. So it's a hidden dynamic to this. And I think that is nail on the head for what they're saying. Have your eyes open right now. Have a discernment, because it is going to affect you individually. It could cut your connection to, and we've got connection there, to the unseen world, because that's what that card below is, the unseen world. It's connection with spirit. So connection to your higher self, to the source field, to and we can be energized through the source field by tapping into source directly for our own energy. And we just don't know how good this technology is going to be. Like, can it harness energy from the source field, from our biofield? I just think all of these they're either going to be affected in one way or another. They're going to be affected by the impacts of EMF or radiation, or it's going to be used as a fuel source. I've asked for things that we don't know what's happening, the unseen things that's coming with this new technology. Now, the same present timeline, time right now, they're looking at strategies, calculated moves to move forward with this. And it's just an explosion of, we're hearing, even in Australia here, we're hearing all states talking about their data centres they're projected to get before 2028. Lots of money being invested into data centres. So this is going on all over the world. There is a cosmic path here, connection. Again, we've got solar clarity, eyes open, clarity, eyes open. Sun in the tarot means clarity, seeing things clearly. So really have your eyes open, because this is a waning light, an ending or a closure is coming. We have the tension heating up the fire. It could bring droughts, fires to the earth. Interesting, because we've got exit roll, closing a door. Now, I don't want to be too far out, but I feel like there is definitely some implications of this technology that are out there and a little bit conspiracy based, but I think there's always a touch of truth in some of those things. And what I'm picking up there is the ending and exit. Ending and exit. And the possibilities surrounding those things. So right now, present time, we are seeing strategies being put in place to build data centers all over the world. There is a unseen hidden dynamic here about how they're going to be fueled. We have a cosmic connection, individual path too, by the way, that says. Is that going to be affecting individual people on an individual level? I think so. So there's going to be fallout from this. We know that the fallout will definitely be the way the Earth will respond to the energy being used from the Earth water, for instance. So the thing that I would say that's unseen here is the fuel source and how it's going to be fueled, but also the connection to the collective, to people, to our biofields, to whether that's radiation affecting us or whether that is tapping in to our own individual, because we've got the individual cards, energy fields. And then we see the exit roll and the waning light card. The fallout. There will be fallout to this energy. Now I'm going to use this deck here. This is my full disclosure deck. It's just a little bit of fun. And we'll just see if there's anything there that needs to come out around what we could be seeing with this energy around data centers and the explosion of AI technology. Fun here with my UFO or my disclosure deck. It says something big is coming. There's big changes coming. We'll be moving into a new phase, a new evolution of technology, far beyond anything we've known before. Something really big is coming in the future, especially after 2028, once all these data centers are up and running. The government know. The government knows. So even higher up than the governments. Even though local governments are the ones that are talking about different data centers being built in different places. So they know that the data centers are coming and needed and required everywhere. I wonder if they know what is coming though. I wonder how ready they are to the full extent of what these data centers do. But they're needed everywhere. Most countries are participating. Patience, it will take time. Some of these data centers won't be completed till 2028, I think I heard. So patience, this is coming, but there's strategy in place. Private sector projects, lots of money, big money being invested here. Budgets blowing out. Whistleblower. The whistleblower, interesting because it could lead into a lot of scientists. When I was doing the science, like on my other channel, I'm reading the missing scientists, different ones of them, and one of them was represented by the card that represented that particular scientist was something big is coming. And he is now past, that scientist. So it's interesting that maybe the science field knew what this new innovation could mean. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but they know the potential applications for this increased AI and data centers. So there's weaponry for one thing. On the back of this card it says battles, so what it means for defense systems as well. That, and I didn't mention that with the new technology, defense systems will definitely be one of them. And I think connecting the whistleblowers to the science field, or private sector actually, some of these are connected to private sector companies, and there's things going on with the whistleblower rules around what they're releasing because they're not covered under something because they're private sector or they're contractors. So yeah, that's crazy what's going on in that world at the moment around the science, but I won't get too much into that. But I'm feeling that the private sector whistleblowers, the contractors, know that something big is coming. They know the impacts that this could have, and they know the potential applications that these data centers could bring to the world. Domestic lands. Let's read the back. Cold fusion. Also what does it mean for the lands where these data centers are being built? What are the impacts for the places that have these data centers being built on them? Reconnaissance means looking, searching for particular lands that could house these data centers or more data centers. Patiently over time, so more coming up than what we know of now. We've heard of an explosion, we're hearing it everywhere, but there's more to come. It's going to be very big. But how does it affect the lands where it is? How does it affect the people living next to these data centers? Because they're on the hunt for more lands, private lands, maybe even private sector, to be used for data centers. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are.